I wish I knew that things would turn out all right. Messages from your future self. A reading of clarity and guidance from the version of you who already made it through. Welcome, dear one. Tonight, the caravan rests between where you are now and who you are becoming, close enough, perhaps, for your future self to reach back with guidance. When you're ready, we'll begin. This is a spiral reading. We'll start from your current situation and see what kind of insights and help and guidance we'll get to your current moment. Then we'll spiral onwards towards the possible future, all the way seeing different aspects and helpers for you. And finally, we reveal what is the essence of your future self. 3 cards rest before you. 3 timelines opening ahead. Card 1. Child of the Cosmos. A card of remembering your place in the vastness. The card reads, "The intelligence of the universe lies within you." Card 2. Portal. The card reads, "Doors are opening. You decide. Rewards. Wild card." Card 3. Inner Earth. The card reads, "You'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings." To add an element of chance, I'll use 12-sided dice. They'll be the trinket that gives you that extra guidance to help you select your group. Let's see what we got. The number 6 goes to group 3. The Venus sign goes to group 2. And the sign of Libra goes to group 1. Now, before you enter your group, would be a good moment to leave me with a like or a subscribe. This supports my work and I'd be deeply grateful. Choose the group that calls you or follow more than one if they draw you in. Sometimes your understanding deepens when you see where different paths lead. Take with you the parts that feel true for you today. The rest can simply drift by. When your heart is ready, you'll find the timestamps in the description. Let's begin your reading. Welcome to your reading, Group 1. The first message from your future self comes through the card Child of the Cosmos. Let's exercise your own intuition for a moment. When you look at the card, what do you see? What kind of things do you notice? Is it perhaps the vast starry background that she has? How she extends her arms as if trusting the universe? Do you notice the colors, tones of them? Or maybe something else? Hold on to your own interpretations of this card, because they are your intuition speaking, and your intuition is your true inner teacher. Now, let's study the card together. This card reminds you to where you already belong, to life, to this timeline, to something larger than a single moment. Your future self wants you to know that there was never a point where you missed a chance. You weren't supposed to have all the answers yet. You were supposed to be curious. You were supposed to be open. You are a child of the cosmos. You're here to learn and, like child, to experience. You may have made mistakes, but one day when you look back, you don't feel embarrassed about this phase. You feel tenderness toward it. You were a human, incomplete, yet perfect in every sense. And the message that the card reads, the intelligence of the universe lies within you, reminds you that there is an intelligence in here that is larger and vaster than mere day-to-day consciousness. Then we have the sign of Libra. Again, how do you feel that this sign resonates? Does it reflect to a person? Are you a Libra? Is someone near to you a Libra? Or is it more about the energy of this star sign? About balancing acts, about finding harmony and beauty, or about the difficulties making choices when you must make one? The dice in here reminds you that you don't have to control every step for things to work. There is an element of chance and luck in everything that we do. Let's dive deeper to the sign of the dice. This Libra could be a sign that you are learning how to live in the space between extremes. That in this life period you are learning how to live in the golden middle path. You could also see this as Libra being ruled by air. That means thought, perspectives and mental peace. So this symbol could be reminding you against overthinking. You don't need to solve this. You need to let things settle into their natural alignment. Alright, let's move to your first card. The meaning of the first card is what you're living through now. Let's see your card. The first card is Page of Emotions. So this card stands for the Page of Cups in traditional tarot deck. What images or thoughts does this card awaken in you? If you look at the card very carefully, what kind of thoughts or feelings appear? Pages stand symbolically for immaturity and childlike wonder. It speaks about beginning of the journey, whether that journey is symbolic or literal. This card could mean that you are in an emotionally formative phase, meaning that this phase is not about mastery, it's about learning, especially learning how something feels. You try and do different kind of things, and they invoke different kind of reactions in you. These reactions are your teachers. What feels good? What feels difficult but satisfying? What feels nurturing and loving? What makes you feel uneasy even if you don't realize why? This is your intuition speaking. This is how you learn. Your future self wants you to know this phase wasn't about getting it right. It was about letting yourself feel before understanding could arrive. Now let's move on to your next card. This tarot card stands for what you need to remember now. Your card is the Fool. This is a lovely confirmation that the journey is just beginning. You might have been in this journey for a long time, but in some level you are always taking the first step. In a bigger perspective, the journey is still just beginning. Your future self may be telling you this: trust yourself enough to keep going, even without excitement or certainty. Like the figure in this card, boldly stepping over the desert dunes, trust yourself enough to keep going, even without excitement or certainty. This is not naivety or hopefulness. This is courage. The next card stands for the cycle you are now in. It speaks in a broader sense of the life period that you are now in. For this one, we'll draw an astrology card because their 1,000-year-old symbolism manages to capture some of that karmic wisdom that we are now trying to reach. Oh, wow! This card is very clear, even if it looks complex if you're not familiar with the astrological symbolism. Let me read this with you. Yod is an element in astrology that is sometimes called a finger of God. It speaks about fated moments and fated paths. In this position, being the cycle where you are in now, I would read this that you are meant to go through this exactly as it is unfolding. This is a huge and quite strong confirmation, and only take it if it aligns with you. Let's now move to your next card. This is a cosmic starseed card that answers to a question: what you don't yet see. Your card is "You're not alone", and its message is isolation, physical connection, community. What do you think of this card? What kind of thoughts or ideas does it bring to your mind? If you got any insights or explanations of your own, hold on to them. They are important and unique to you. Let's now read the card together. To me, this is a card of community, and not just any kind of community. This is a card of your star family, your soul family, about people and beings that resonate on the same frequency as you are. They may or may not be your real family, and you may or may not be aware that they exist. Your soul family doesn't need to be physically where you are. You just need to have a connection and a deeper inner knowing that you are not alone in this journey. Let's move along in the spiral. The next card is an important one, and it tells you what you can release. Your card is Page of Materials. This card stands for Page of Pentacles in the traditional deck. Pages are a symbol of a new journey beginning, and there is a feeling of immaturity in this card. And when it is in a suit of pentacles, it speaks of tangible, material things such as home or work, finances, or economic decisions. If you are plagued by thoughts like, I should have this figured out by now, this card reminds you that this was and this is your learning phase, not a test you are failing. You can also view this as an advice that you can release the idea that slow growth is fragile. Often we think that if nothing much happens, you are stuck, but that isn't necessarily always the case. It can be just a sign that you are establishing, and releasing yourself from this worry can free a lot of mental energy. Next, the spiral moves to a very important point. The next card is a card of doorways, and this card stands for the doorway that changed everything. It is a symbol of a pivotal moment or a gate that you need to walk through. Let's see what advice your future self would like to give. Your card is the doorway of nature. The card reads, natural, outdoors, wilderness, animals, environment, organic. Let's stand in this doorway for a moment. What kind of thoughts does it awaken? Are you surprised? Do you instinctively already intuitively grasp that what it could be? Let's stay with these thoughts for a moment. The doorway of nature can mean many things. One very clear and straightforward interpretation would be that you need to enhance and cultivate your connection to the natural world. Do trips to nature, go walk with a dog, go hiking, kayaking, doing things outdoors. Or perhaps your change can be a larger one, like moving to a more rural place instead of the city. But the card's keywords suggest other things as well. There is a word organic in it, meaning that it could reflect a lifestyle where feeding yourself the best possible food and the best possible healthy food that you can afford becomes really important. Or there's also the keyword of wilderness. This could mean that the breakthrough comes when you are working in tune with your true nature rather than against it. It kind of ties back to the first card of being the child of the cosmos, meaning that you are not a cog in the machine. You are a wild being, a wild child, a beautiful natural human who has its natural needs, and as soon as you start to learn from these natural needs, the quicker you become in alignment with yourself. The spiral is turning onwards, and the next tarot card that we are going to lay on the table is a card that reflects what carries you forward. Like, it's meant to answer a question that, yes, but give me specific information in my situation that is going to help me. Let's turn your card. Ooh, your card is the Tower. And this is so interesting because, well, let's first stop and I'll give you just a breath to consider what it means for you before I go on into interpreting the card. If you study the card yourself, what do you see? is lightning and something is crumbling. It looks like if she would have a sort of a monofin and she would be diving to the depths. Perhaps she reached the rock bottom. And this was the literal turning point for her. The visual language of the card is open to interpretation, but I remind you once again that what comes to you is important. Your inner knowing is the wisest teacher. And you do know how to read these cards, of course. I would add to your own interpretation the following. Since this card is what carries you forward, it means that if you are in your life in a tower moment, that means a moment where there is a lot of uncertainty, turbulences, maybe certain old structures are crumbling and there is a change of rulerships in your life, a change of directions in your life, a kind of a cataclysmic moment, and sometimes the Tower card is even described to be as a moment of loss of ego. If you are in this kind of moment, or if you have encountered this kind of things, or if you're going to encounter this kind of moments in your life, this card is reassuring you and teaching you that this is what carries you forward. That these moments, no matter how difficult and challenging they might be, they are the ones that allow us to move forward in our path. Our timeline spiral turns yet onwards, and we are reaching towards the second last card. The symbolism of this card is what already supports you. Your card is deep cellular healing, and it has keywords of Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. Oh, this is so beautiful card. It tells you that your nervous system knows how to heal, even if your mind doesn't. That the natural abilities of your body are working for you. Your body and your mind are very wise. Healing is already in motion. You were and you are already beginning to recover. This support has been with you the whole time. Then we have but one card left, and this is the most important card in this reading. The title of this card is What You Will Become. This is a reflection of your future self about what is the version of you in the future that you can now glimpse, but you are currently growing towards. Your card is the Star. This is a lovely ending and a lovely direction for you. The Star card is beloved card in the tarot, and many people say that it is their all-time favorite card in the whole deck. And there is many good reasons for this. This is a card of hope. But not just that, there are layers of support, guidance, even spiritual illumination in it. It speaks of a period that there is rest and rejuvenation. In the traditional deck, there is a woman holding out water, meaning that if you have walked through difficult life periods, it is a moment where you stop and have a refreshing drink. This Star card is perhaps a bit more visionary. There is a bright yellow background shining like a halo, bringing clarity and wisdom. And from her forehead, from her third eye, emerges to what to me looks a beam of light, like a guiding light towards the future. When this card, the star, upright, comes in a position of what you will become, it doesn't speak about a single moment. It speaks about a state of being for you in the future. Since this is a card of what you will become, it means that you will become your own guiding light. Your future self wants you to know that this path didn't end in certainty. It ended in trust. You became someone who could hope again, someone who no longer needed to force clarity or to rush healing or brace for things to fall apart. You became steady, you became open, you became at ease inside your own life. So if your question was, I wish I knew things would turn out all right, then your future self answer to this is, they did. Not because everything went as planned, but because you became someone who could meet life with openness instead of fear. And that's how you knew things turned out all right. Now, before I close this reading, I'd love to do a little summary of the reading, a kind of take-home message to give you, a kind of golden thread what is found when all the cards have been turned. So this reading is your future self telling you this. From where I stand now, I can tell you this. Nothing about that time was wasted. You are not lost. You were just learning how to feel again. And even if you felt like that, you were not late. You were moving at a pace that allowed truth to surface. Nor were you abandoned. You were accompanied all the time, more than you realized. Some structures fell because they could not come with you. It was relief. Healing was already underway, even when you doubted it. Things turned out all right. Not because everything went according to plan, but because you became someone who could meet life without fear. This concludes our reading, group number 1. Thank you for walking with me through this reading. You're welcome to stay and listen for another reading if you feel called to, but now it's time for group number 2. Welcome to your reading, Group 2. Your opening card is the Portal. The card reads, doors are opening. You decide. Rewards. Wild card. What the portal means as an opening energy is that you are already standing at the doorway. This card doesn't describe something that is far away, but it says the moment is already here. This card isn't asking if the change will come. It's asking how consciously will you step into it? Or, of course, will you? Let's study this card together. Portals in general are considered to be a way of cutting the distance between two places away. Have a think what this distance could be for you. Is it a physical distance? In that sense, this could mean travel. A portal can also be a doorway into new life and new reality. Or it could be a symbolical doorway to a temple, a place or consciousness where you can stop and study spiritual and intuitive wisdom. But this card didn't arrive alone. We also had the dice. And from this dice, you got a symbol of Venus. Now, let's stay here for a moment and reflect what that Venus could mean for you. Do you think it refers to a person? Does it have to do with a gender? A chemical element perhaps? Or something more complex? The symbol of Venus connects to a goddess of love, and therefore I feel that love is part of the equation, but perhaps not only romantic love. This portal is guided by Venus. It asks you, where do you want to go? What do you desire? Your future self wants you to know that this door opened the moment you allowed yourself to choose what you truly care about. It calls you to align this portal with your inner calling. Alright, let's move to your first card. The meaning of the first card is what you're living through now. Let's see what's your card in this position. The card that landed here is a major arcana called Strength. Take a look of the card. What does it reveal to you at a first glance? Let's study the card for a bit. There is a feeling of calmness in here, an embodied strength. This is a reflection of the life period that you are going through. Maybe the strength is your will to survive, to see through the situation of life where you are now. With her gentle guidance, the strength of the lion is directed. Your future self wants to remind you that this period of strength, directing from survival, is a symbol for this life period. It's not the whole of the story. Let's now move to your next card. This card is called What You Need to Remember Now, or if you want to frame it in a way like your future self would say, the name of this card is What I Need You to Remember Now. Let's turn your card. Your card is the Ace of Emotions. The Ace of Emotions marks the start of emotional truth, but it's not a resolution in itself. Since this is a card that answers to a question, what you need to remember now, it means that your feelings are trustworthy. It also encourages you to move feelings first, not intellect first. So often we in our lives move through reasoning and logic, and by doing that may miss the most important decisions in our life. This card says, listen to your heart. Let's move to your next card. Your next card is called The Cycle You Are In Now, and it speaks of the broader life period, almost like an astrological season or decade where you are. Let's turn your card. Your card is Venus. Love. I love this confirmation because it is exactly Venus and love that we encountered with the dice earlier. This means that we were exactly at the right tracks and the message deepens. So what reassurance does your future self want to give to you? Well, it could be something like the following. The things that bring you love, beauty, and harmony are the things that are supporting you in this life period. What you are drawn towards now supports your becoming. Let's move on to your next card. For the next card, we'll bring forth a bit more cosmic tone by using the Starseed Oracle cards. They often speak from higher perspective, and this card is to answer to a question, what you don't yet see. Your card is the Messenger, and the card reads, Serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. There is a definite feel of message in this card. Perhaps an angelic messenger or a celestial one. This messenger can be a person, or it can be a message that you receive through your intuition as inner knowing. In this case, this card is about trusting that frequency that you are about to receive or have already received. Let's move on to your next card, and this card, a tarot card, speaks to you about what you can release. Let's see your card. Your card is the Magician. Let's stay with the symbolism of this card for a moment. When you look at the card, how would you read this card? Now let's look the card together. The Magician is the card number 1 in the tarot deck, which means that it comes right after the Fool. Therefore, it's considered to be a card that is in quite the beginning of the journey, meaning that it is a life period where you haven't received that much experience yet. Therefore, this card can point to a life period where you have learned lessons that are no longer valid, and your work is to shed these now obsolete lessons so that more holistic, more wise, and more currently suitable worldview can be embraced. This card is in a position of what you can release. Magician is a card of manifesting your will to the world. Therefore, it's quite active and quite self-empowering in a sense that you are made responsible for things that you are manifesting in the universe. But if this card is now in a position where you can release this, it means that you can cultivate trust towards the universe. You can perhaps ease up and lean back and allow the universe to manifest them for you. In that sense, this card is a card of ease and enjoyment, allowing the world to provide for you. Our planning mind don't easily give up its survival mechanisms to just trust the universe, but sometimes this is exactly the lesson that is needed. So what is the message from your future self via this card? It could be something like this. I know how hard you're trying to build the life you want, but there comes a point where striving only exhausts you. Everything essential is already present. What carries you forward now is patience, and trust that the universe will provide you what you need. Let's move on to your next card. This card is a special card, and it's a card of doorway. It's called the doorway that changed everything. In that sense, even though this is a small card, it has a very high importance. And especially in a reading that is themed as a portal, this doorway, this passage through, stands as an especially important card. Let's see what we are allowed to know about this doorway now. Your card is Door of Creativity, and it comes with the keywords innovation, imagination, inspiration, expression, and vision. Wow, this is such a profound card. Does it immediately spark an understanding when you look at it? Do you have a project that it connects to? Do you have a creative idea that you would like to work with? Do you have a vision or a form of expression that would want to come forth? There is such a profound symbolism in the egg. It's a symbol of a new life being created and about to hatch into something unique and wonderful. This is a message of innovation and inspiration for you. It also speaks about divine timing. You can't rush the egg to hatch. You just need to care for it and allow it to do its thing. The next tarot card that we are going to draw is called What Carries You Forward. It speaks about things that support you and guide you in this life situation to actually help you to see through it. This is Five of Materials. The Five of Materials stands for Five of Pentacles in traditional tarot. This card might look dark and gloomy, but it is not a punishment card. It is a truth-telling card. There is no lack, only disconnection. This wasn't a time when resources were truly gone. It was a time where you felt off from your support. The Five of Materials doesn't say nothing is available. It says that you believed you had to endure this alone. And this belief shaped your experiences more than circumstances ever did. So what carries you forward is the realizations that you don't have to do this alone. You are not alone, whether it's concrete help from people around you or your support circles or help from your spiritual guides. You don't need to do this alone. maybe a lesson that your future self would like you to remember in this situation is the following. You didn't need to prove your endurance anymore. This is a moment where asking, receiving, and allowing is what carries you forward. Let's move to your next card, and this is a celestial card that answers to a question: what already supports you? Your card is Your Life is a Canvas, and it comes with keywords of artist, manifestation, creative accountability. It's interesting, there is so many cards about creativity and artistry in this spread. You could almost feel that it would be made for someone who is a creator or indeed an artist. This card changes the emotional temperature of this reading, because where the Five of Materials showed depletion and endurance, this card returns authorship to you. It tells you that you're not waiting for permission anymore, but you are already holding the brush. You can already begin. Your life is already the canvas that you can draw on. Now you need to remember that the magician gave you a message that manifesting your will in the world is something that you can release. So what does your life is a canvas mean then, if it comes after such message? Well, it basically says that you don't need to create to survive. You get to design your life. Manifestation in here isn't about hoping harder, it's about aligning daily actions with what you claimed to value. Small choices, repeated directions, things and routines that upkeep the life that you want to live. Your future self might place this card here to say, this was when you stopped asking when life would change and started to live your life as if it already had. Next, we turn to the most important card in this reading, and this is the card that answers to the question, what you will become. Oh, it seems that we got several cards, not just one. Let's see. The first card is Knight of Materials, and then Queen of Materials. This is Knight of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles in traditional tarot. What do you see when you look at these two cards? Do you immediately get a recognition what they could say? If that is the case, hold on to that. That is the main message for you. But let's read them together. This will help you to get more clarity and insight from these two cards. What strikes me at first immediately is that these are both from the realm of materials. This realm deals with tangible things, material things, house, job, finances, that kind of things. Let's look at Knight of Materials first. This is a night that moves towards sustainability. It's not about speed, even if the horse is galloping in it. It's about devotion, consistency, and follow through. This version of you moves steadily instead of forcing outcomes and respects limits, both energy and time, and also the limits of your body. And then you have Queen of Materials. This is embodied stability. She is often said to be the domestic queen, but to be honest, in this card she looks quite regal. With all those roses, I feel that it speaks about self-love. This is the version of you that is rooted and self-trusting and comfortable receiving what you once struggled to allow. The Queen of Materials is security without rigidity. To me, it seems that if you seem uncertain now and unsure about the future, she is grounded and secure. She looks like she knows what she needs and what she values and what she no longer negotiates. And your future self shows her here because this is where you arrive after learning steadiness. So if we look at the whole message and the whole thread of your spiral, the concentrated essence of your reading, the portal speaks of a choice. So if you are now pondering things like, what if I choose wrong? Or what if I can't sustain what I want? Your future self answers, you learned how. And this is where you become someone who no longer doubts what you are. Your future self doesn't show you a single identity here. It shows you a journey. You learn how to move forward without exhausting yourself. And then you arrive at a place of stability, trust, and grounded confidence. And if you are wondering if everything will be okay, the answer is you grew into someone who could make it so. So what I see when I look at your reading as a whole is that, well, the central theme of this reading is of course the portal, a threshold moment where you step through. There is an important whisper for the moment where you feel at your lowest, and this whisper is that you need to reach out for help when you are down. Apart from that, this is a period of patience where you nurture your creativity and then create your life as a canvas. There might be a message, unexpected message, and what happens when you have walked through the portal, if you choose to do so, is that you become a grounded version of yourself and one who no longer asks permissions to be herself. This concludes our reading, group number 2. I thank you for walking this path with me. If you're curious, you can stay for the group number 3, but now it's time for another group. Welcome to your reading, group 3. You have selected the Inner Earth as your opening card. This card has keywords of "you'll survive this," "new solutions," and "beginnings." In this card we'll see a beautiful underground scenery, perhaps a large cave or an underground kingdom. It has a theme of Inner Earth, and this card has a clear feeling of inviting you inward. Across different cultures, Inner Earth appears under many names, such as Agartha, hidden advanced civilization beneath the surface, or Shambhala, sanctuary of wisdom, refugee, and enlightened governance. This card represents a safe world beneath the world. So what does this card say about where you are now? Well, inner earth appears when you feel tired of surface level solutions and you're tired of pushing, fixing, explaining or proving. It can be that the obvious paths feel blocked or unsafe, or survival has become the priority even if you haven't named it yet. Your future self opens with this card because this is about making it through. And you did. But the card of Inner Earth wasn't the only symbol for this group. We also rolled a dice and got a number 6. Now, number 6 can be meaningful for you in many ways. It can point to 6 months or 6 days, but there are also other meanings connected to number 6. In numerology, 6 follows 5, and 5 is a number of instability and crisis, so the number 6 carries the meaning of rebalancing after upheaval. 6 is also a number of home and shelter and protection and emotional and physical safety. So this also ties strongly to a place of protection, healing and shelter. In sacred geometry, 6 creates a hexagon, so this is the honeycomb structure and also crystalline structure. This connects beautifully with the inner earth as crystalline sanctuary imagery. Next, let's pull your first card. The theme of the first card is what you're living through now, and it speaks about your current situations and the insights that we can gain for it. Let's turn your card of the present moment. Your card is the Magician. This is a potent message of your creator magic, powerful manifesting abilities, forging your own reality, connecting to the 4 elements, and having latent talents and skills. The core idea of this card is that you are the creator of your own universe. It emphasizes your own empowerment. Right now, you might be spending more energy than what you are receiving. Group 3, what you are living through is the Magician energy, a phase where you've been trying to make things happen through effort, focus, and sheer will. You've been capable, you've been resourceful, but now you're also tired. This card isn't here to praise your strength, but it's here to explain to you why rest, refugee, and the new way forward are necessary. Let's move on to your next card, which is titled What You Need to Remember Now. This card lets the spirit bring your attention to things that would benefit for you giving it attention and energy. Let's see what you got. Your card is 3 of Voices, so this stands for 3 of Swords in the regular tarot deck. What kind of thoughts or ideas come to you when you study this card? Generally speaking, this is a card of painful separation, heartache and sorrow. I think this card comes to you to say that you've been gone through quite a lot and you need to acknowledge this. There might have been disappointment and challenges in your way. The heart of this card is that all things that have been going on have been taking their toll, and you need to acknowledge this. You need to give yourself time to recover. It's here to remind you that you too are human, and humans need rest, nurture, love, and protection. Let's see what your next card is. This card stands for the cycle that you're in now. We will be drawing an astrology card, so it will have a different tone of voice than the 2 tarot cards that we have drawn so far. These cards are usually a bit more archetypical, but we'll see what you will be getting this time. Your card is the Mars, with keyword of force. In its higher octave, Mars is not aggression. It is life force choosing direction. Mars asks you honesty about your desires. But he is also the defender, the masculine archetype, which means that he is also the protector. Group 3, the cycle you are in now, is shown by Mars, and you are not meant to suppress this fire, but you are meant to guide it. When you combine the element of the inner earth with this card, this is the moment when healing becomes movement. Let's now move to your next card. This is a Starseed Oracle card, a bit softer card therefore, and it speaks about what you don't yet see. Your card is Baby Steps, and it comes with keywords of action. Follow your intuition before it makes sense. This card doesn't say wait until you understand, wait until you feel ready, or wait until it's safe. It says move when something feels true, even if you can't explain it yet. Right now, clarity follows action, not the other way around. Your future self might phrase it like this: the way forward wasn't sudden or overwhelming. It was intuitive and deeply personal. I needed to learn that I didn't need certainty to begin, but rather I needed to trust the next step that felt right. That is how the path opened. Let's move on to your next card. This is a tarot card, and it answers to a question: what you can now release. Your card is the Seven of Inspiration, which stands for Seven of Wands in traditional tarot deck. The image in this card is quite non-traditional, so first I would like you to study the imagery of the card and see what you can come up yourself. We will then read the card together after that moment. So what do you see? Traditionally, the Seven of Wands stands for defending your ground, but this is a modern interpretation of the symbolism of this card. And there are tones of protecting your inner light as well as protecting yourself from the negative opinions of others and from the scarcity mindset. Group 3. What you can now release is the need to defend yourself. You don't have to answer every voice. You don't have to justify your path. You don't have to carry other people's fear or scarcity. Your future self wants you to know this. The ground you're standing is already yours. Let's see your next card. The next card is a special card again. This is a card of a doorway. And not just any doorway. The name of this position is the doorway that changed everything. Let's see what you need to understand or walk through in order to become your future self. Your card is Door of Change. Its keywords are transformation, adaptation, transition, evolution. This doorway opened because something fundamental changed. It might have been a gentle change. You decided to try to do things in a different manner and it worked. Or it might be a kind of tower moment change. A change that appears after pressure, not before it. But to me, this symbolism of a butterfly doesn't speak to a more chaotic and cataclysmic change. It speaks more about adaptation. It means that during and after this period, you didn't just survive, you changed shape. You didn't just heal, you reorganized your inner world. This change was a metamorphosis. When you look back, there was this whole growth period that you went through before the future self came to be as it is. But the major change after this card is that it signifies the threshold where your mindset shifts from I need to get through this into I decide what grows next. And as such, this is a very positive change. Let's now turn to your next card. The next card we are going to pull is a tarot card, and it speaks about what carries you forward. It is a location designed to reveal what would help you in this moment. Your card is Strength. Strength carries you forward. What carries you forward is a calm relationship with your own power. In this image, the lion is not restrained. You are carried by trust in your own inner strength, your instincts, your body, your timing. So, what specifically carries you forward now is emotional self-trust, a softer authority, your own authority, the ability to move without an apology, and knowing when to rest and when to act. This is a strength that allows movement, travel, growth, and freedom because it's sustainable. let's move on to your next card. The next card asks what already supports you. It is a Starseed card, soft and galactic, and it is meant to, as well as the card before it, to show you things that would ease up your way in the future. Your card is Whale and Orca Elders with keywords of share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. The Whale and Orca Elders are benevolent cosmic beings here to anchor us to a frequency of love. This card has several messages in it, and one of them is the harmony of music. Music can be very therapeutic, whether it's something that you do yourself or something that you would enjoy. Utilize this healing and supporting energy of music in your daily life. Another message is strong heart. Whether it's the calming energy of real whales or the unconditional love of the cosmic whales, you are called to lean on to other benevolent beings, whether literal or cosmic. So the message of your future self through this card is: you are already supported by big, loving heart beating with unconditional love, by beautiful music and song echoing around you, and by currents that carry you home. Now, my dear Group 3, it's time for the last and most important card in this reading. This is a tarot card that stands for what you will become. Let's see your card. Your card is Two of Voices, which stands for Two of Swords in traditional tarot deck. This card is about discernment. It speaks of a person who is ready to make decisions. The heart is contained, protected, held at the center, and the path forward is narrow, deliberate, and chosen. So this is the card of choosing which voices deserve access and trusting your own perception to guide you through. If we look at the whole of your reading, we'll see that the Group 3 became in the inner earth with keywords of refugee, survival, and sanctuary, and your journey moved through pain, defense, cycles of effort, even through Martian energy of conflict and action. During your journey, you learned how to release other people's expectations and trust that you are the highest authority of your own life. Getting to your future required you to change, but your own inner embodied strength helped to carry you forward, as did the connection to your cosmic and/or physical helpers. You don't need to do this journey alone. But in the end, the main message was that you learned how to make your own decisions. And not just to decide what to wear today or what to eat as lunch, but rather you learned how to listen without obeying, how to pause without disappearing, and how to choose your truth without asking permissions. You didn't stay in hiding or in survival mode forever. You learned new solutions and beginnings. You stopped forcing your way forward, listened beneath the noise, accepted help when you needed it, and that's when your life began to move freely again. This concludes our reading, Group 3. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you got wonderful inspiration and deep insights from this reading. And if you feel called to, you are welcome to discover more readings like this from my channel. Thank you and have a wonderful day.